U.S. and Mexican trade officials are trying to resolve the Mexican ban on U.S. biotech corn. Collin Watters, export director for the Illinois corn growers, says the Illinois impact is small.
It's hard to put a real good number on it, but it's a fairly small percentage overall. Um, but realistically, it could have a real major impact on individuals and I'd say more of a regional or community kind of impact. So a lot of the white corn that's grown in Illinois is in the southern part of the state, and it's those growers that really face the kind of that major uncertainty. So that's, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, it could be a small number, but for some folks, it's a really important issue.
It would shut them out if they don't have non-GMO white corn. But for the rest of the state that depends upon an average corn price and we lose 650 million bushels, that would impact everyone then.
Yeah, and I think that basically um, where the Mexican government is at now is that they're focused mainly on food grade kind of white corn for tortillas. That's basically it. So I mean it's a small percent of that total production, but I think the larger concern is that this where does this stop? If the if the government says, okay, well, transgenic crops are unsafe or unfit for human consumption, well, we know that that's not true. But that kind of opens the door for any other uh, you know trade policy that is not based in science. So I think it's really important for the U.S. Trade Representative's Office, for the USDA to continue what they're doing and find a solution to this just as soon as possible.
Are there other countries out there that are as finicky as Mexico or that should be concerned about?
No, I don't know that. In kind of the grand scheme of things, I don't know that that it's that much of a concern. But I think that under the underlying issue here is the agreements that we have in place, right? So we have an agreement in the new NAFTA, the USMCA, that any trade restriction would be based in sound science, and I think that that's you know I think that the world is kind of going that way. I think we're seeing some changes in Europe and primarily, the food security, just food availability is becoming a bigger concern with the war in Ukraine. So I think folks are kind of coming around to the idea that, okay, well, even though we might not, kind of philosophically or ideologically like transgenics, that they are safe and that they are abundant and it's an okay thing. So I'm hopeful that this is kind of turning around a little bit, but certainly in Mexico it's a huge market for us. It's critically important, our top export market, and we want to make sure that they're making decisions that are based in science, that are actually sound.